Let's go. We're going to try this again. At least it didn't take 10 minutes. And let's see if I can see myself. Okay. No, I cannot. Let's go to live. It says I'm live. Here we are. All I can see on screen is my teeth. It's just so funny. All right. We're going to do this again. I was talking about my son's Christmas present. Hey, haven't even gotten to chat about anything because I'm having troubles with the electricity in the house and everything else, but it's all right. A big screen of my face, what fun. So, I was talking about the bracelet that I made for my son, and if I cover it like this. This stone, these stones right here, these three, are from a necklace on that I got from Goodwill last year, this year, sometime. I'm just really happy that I figured out how to do this closure. I'll finish this off and add it to his package of gifts because he's been fascinated by a bracelet that my daughter has. One of those kinds of bracelets. And of course, I'm probably going to complicate things. It's probably too small to see, but I got this stone. It looks like a garnet chip. This stone from Fire Mountain Gems. And then with the lava rock, this is on aluminum wire and would be so neat to figure out how to do. However, it's Christmas Eve, and as much fun as this would be, unless it's while I'm watching Jingle Jangle, probably not going to get to it. So, I was talking about how I'd been thinking about Taraji's very valid concerns about the pay disparity that she and other Black women have experienced in Hollywood and everywhere else. Um, Sometimes I feel like we as Black women have been put into a trick bag of some sort, and we are just now realizing that we have been hoodwinked and bamboozled into thinking that if we just work a little harder, or we prove ourselves a little bit more, or if we go from this place that doesn't appreciate us to somewhere else, all in the same country, with the same types of people who don't appreciate us, that this group over here will appreciate us. And maybe that's true, but I have had a lot of jobs and seen a lot of things. I'm coming to the realization that this is a very systemic issue that is affecting our health, not just our mental health, but our physical health as well. Um, this brunchy is going to be abbreviated because I have Christmas Eve things to do, and I'm sure you do too. I'm going to share my screen again, and I have to reactivate the video because it does not like it when I switch. All right, I am going to say that I'll just stick this up here really quick because I haven't gone to Canva like I should. I'm going to go to Canva in another window while I talk and chew gum because I do that so well. But I took a screenshot. I took a couple of screenshots of a LinkedIn post that I saw, which really mirrored what I was thinking about in terms of Taraji's very valid concern of the fact that $1 million when her co-stars are making 5, 10, 15, and $30 million is unfair and is actually disrespectful, but it also does not make good financial sense because even though people think that we make it on our own, we never make it on our own. There is always a team behind us, and some people have bigger teams than others, which means that their bills are bigger. Aha, here's the post. Let's see if I can open this in a new window. That's one window. All right, that's another window. All right, and you're spinning. You're just a spinning, and you also are just a spinning away. Here's hoping that they'll come up, and I can make this bigger so that it can be seen, even though this is Canva. And I didn't put it in anything. There we go. This post is by Lovey Jones. And I'm waiting for the spinning to stop. While I'm waiting for the spinning to stop, I'm going to switch this camera over anyway. One thing that I have said since I have been working on YouTube, which is what, a little less than 6 months at this point. If I can learn how to prompt engineer and if I can learn how to use, not well, but well enough to make them work, if I can learn how to use these technologies, anybody can. And there is money to be made in this, in AI. Also in live streaming, if you do it right. I don't think I'm doing it right, but I'm doing it. And I'm proud of myself for that. Let's go to the window capture and change the window. Okay. All right, the spinning has stopped. This is actually the second page, and let's see if I can make it bigger. So this is Canva for anybody who's never seen it. I have not completed my homework, as we would say. All right, this is just a screenshot, and this is a post from Lovey Jones. I just took the screenshot from LinkedIn, and I'm going to read a little bit of this. Not like people can't read, but if you're listening to this later on and you do YouTube like I do YouTube, which is I don't always watch, I listen. Here goes. Taraji P. Henson's video has gone viral, and I've seen people talking about, well, she needs a new team if they're taking her money. If you are not in the industry, know more or Google before lobbying certain critiques. Uncle Sam takes 50% of her money. Her team takes 30%. Where does that 30% go? And so Lovey Jones did exactly what I was thinking about when I first had a conversation about this with my daughter, breaking down the cost analysis of how much it takes to have a team at that level. So 5% is for her business manager. The business manager manages all of Taraji's finances, 15% for her agent. That is the person who finds her gigs. 5% for an attorney, and the attorney is to ensure that Taraji's paperwork is tight. And it says here that right there is 25% easy. Let me give people some real numbers about what people are spending on teams. Good PR teams can run $10,000 plus a month. A-level stylists charge upwards of $2,500 to $5,000 per look. Makeup artists for day-long stuff could easily be $1,000. Hair is $1,000 plus. When Taraji says it costs money to make money, and y'all are like, she needs a new team, you need to know what the industry standard is. So yeah, even a $1 million check for a film, by the time, now let's see if I did this screenshot right. It looks like I might have. All right. By the time it's in her actual pocket could be $100,000. And her argument is someone in her position with her accolades and credentials should be getting paid way more. Her white counterparts are getting 5 to 10 times what she's getting, and they're getting endorsements and ambassadorships. So their money still feels good even though they shell out a lot. Black women across industries should relate to this. We're all being cheated every single day, and it's exhausting. We are tired. This is exactly 150% what I wanted to talk about today, and also what I would tell my younger self, because one of the whole points of this brunch is talking to the younger version of myself. If you're out there, if you're a social worker, if you are a Black woman, if you are a first generation college student, if you are a sole caregiving mom, I am talking to you because I'm talking to me. And that's me. All of those things are me. We are tired and we are being cheated. Actually, I have been working on prompt engineering since July, and I'll have to go back and look at my records, at my notes. But at one point between July and I want to say September, it could have been into October, I did some prompt work to see how much money my skills and projects that I worked on for previous employers would have gone for in the marketplace. And I want to say, hold on, let me get close because I just love having my face in the camera. Let me get close. I personally, one Black woman, just one, I have given away almost $1 million worth of free labor to my employers that other people would have gotten that compensation. I didn't get it. And that is on top of the excellent work that I have done in every job I've ever had. Black women, we are being cheated and we're tired. Taraji was right, and it's not right and it's not fair, but one thing I'm thankful for is that we are getting hip to the game in a way that we weren't hip to before. And I am very hopeful that my younger self, if that's you, if that resonates with you, please take heed. Please feel free to join me when I run my mouth and also when I offer solutions. There are people who are offering solutions, who are talking about the fact that we are being cheated and looking for ways that we can get parity. Sometimes it's not the way we think. And personally, it is not the way that I would have thought. I would have, at this time last year, never thought that I would be on camera for anything. I am an introvert and I am a background person, and I like that. But I know that the things that I have learned and the things that I know about the world can help someone else. And gathering resources and providing support is one of my social work superpowers. I feel like every social worker has incredible superpowers that we help people with every day. I want us and me, because I'm talking to myself, to use our superpowers for ourselves, to benefit ourselves and to help other people, because that's possible. Oh, I will shout out, Leah. Hey, I know that. Hello there, Fish Repair. Thank you for watching. I know your handle because of my daughter. Merry Christmas! And shout out to Leah. Hey. Now, I have the attention span of maybe not a goldfish, maybe a 3-year-old, 4-year-old child, maybe. I can go off on a tangent really quickly, but that's because it's fine. It's brunch, and that's fine. One of the reasons I wanted to share that cost breakdown, the cost analysis of what it takes to actually be at that level is because a lot of us need to do a cost analysis of how much are we giving up? How much is it costing us to live in the story that we're telling ourselves? How much is it costing? Now, I'm going to tie this all together at the end. Promise, promise, promise. Um, but I was thinking about a story that I heard years ago. I actually asked Claude about it. I have it right here. And what I asked Claude earlier was, are you familiar with the story about Coca-Cola and the person who told them to bottle it? Now, the way that I always heard the story, and I'm just going to leave that up and run my mouth a little bit. The way that I always heard the story kind of made it seem like it was a shadowy situation, kind of somebody who almost came around a corner and saw the owner of Coca-Cola and was like, hey, ayo, ayo, hey, you want to make more money with your little syrup? This is what you do, bottle it. And then just kind of drifted off into the sunset, right? I always thought that that's how it went, or at least that was my imagination. All right. So I asked the computer, because this is what an AI chatbot can be good for. I decided to use Claude and Bard for these two things today. If you've seen me talk about AI before, Claude is a an AI chatbot. It is like ChatGPT, but things have changed so quickly. But before this, Claude was the only AI chatbot that you could put your own documents into and get responses without feeding what I have been calling the great all of the large language model. Because if you put your proprietary private information into ChatGPT, it's going to open it up to everybody. Claude kept anything you put into it private. ChatGPT has made changes, and you can turn off, if you have the plus version or the enterprise version, you can turn off training the models, but Bard, you can't. Anyway, I put it into Claude, and this is what Claude told me, because this is not the shadowy figure with his like hat tilted telling the owner of Coca-Cola this. It's actually, Claude said, "Yes, I'm familiar with the story about how Coca-Cola became a bottled beverage thanks to the advice of a businessman named Joseph Biden Harn. Here's a quick summary." So here it says Coca-Cola was invented in 1886 by John Pemberton as a fountain syrup that was mixed with carbonated water and served at soda fountains. For many years, it was only available as a fountain drink. In the early 1900s, Asa Griggs Candler was the owner of Coca-Cola. He received a letter in 1909 from Joseph Bidenharn, who was the owner of a candy store in Mississippi. Bidenharn had been serving Coca-Cola at his soda fountain, but wanted to be able to sell it to people to take home. He suggested that Coca-Cola should be bottled for sale. Candler was unsure about bottling Coca-Cola at first, but eventually agreed to let Bidenharn bottle it on a trial basis. In 1894, and this is sort of where AI chatbots can give you initial information. You have to go and double check their stuff because these timelines are not timelining. Anyway, in 1894, Bidenharn started bottling Coca-Cola in glass bottles and selling them at his candy store. The bottled Coca-Cola proved to be a huge success. Once it was clear that people enjoyed having bottled Coca-Cola to drink at home, the company began bottling Coca-Cola themselves and distributing it more widely. This helped make Coca-Cola available and popular across the United States. So while Coca-Cola wasn't originally invented as a bottled drink, it was the idea of Joseph Bidenharn to bottle it that really helped make Coca-Cola into the iconic global product it is today. So then I asked the great all what became of Joseph Bidenharn, and it gave some more information here. Based on what it's showing, um, Mr. Bidenharn did right well. He retired a millionaire in 1925, moved to Monroe, Louisiana, and he lived there until his death in 1952 at the age of 81. So he did right well. Um, excuse me, that wasn't part of, that's not part of the story. And they changed the formula. I don't know. That's not part of the story. All right, that I'm telling. Now, if you want to look up where the illicit ingredient of Coca-Cola went, please feel free. I would love to hear about it. Where do you think it went? Now, I went over to Bard, which is another AI chatbot. This is Google's AI chatbot, is Bard. Historically accurate. Stories are stories because you highlight and frame what you want. It's not necessarily everything, right? Because, like, this is just a little corner of a room. There's a whole room around it in front of me, and a whole house this way, and a little bit more house that way. However, for our purposes, it's right here. It's just this. That's the same way stories are. Stories don't tell everything, which is where my question comes from. Who is benefiting from the story that you are telling yourself? Who is benefiting from the stories that we all tell ourselves? My hope is that the stories that we tell ourselves are benefiting us as opposed to other people. So, back to Bard. 1 second. It is not censorship, it's storytelling. Mm-mm. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so I can't type in the chat and talk. So if you type in the chat, I'm just going to talk because you know that my poor little brain can't handle doing two things at once. And right now I'm doing like three. But I went to Bard to ask Bard, this is the question I asked it. I said, please tell me about Joseph Biden Harn, right? And Bard, Bard said, Joseph Augustus Bidenharn was an American entrepreneur and businessman who, in 1894, became the first person to bottle Coca-Cola. This revolutionary act transformed the soft drink from a regional fountain beverage to a global phenomenon. Beyond Coca-Cola, Bidenharn was also involved in the founding of Delta Airlines and was a prominent figure in his community. And then, because these AI chatbots, unless you tell them not to give you a lot of information, give you like a lot. So there's like some biographical sketch stuff here as well. And it goes into what is almost like what's that page? Wikipedia, like a Wikipedia page reference. And that was helpful. Now, I'm tying this all together. Thank you for telling me I don't have to type back because you know I can't do multiple things at once. My poor little brain can't handle it. I asked about the Coca-Cola bottle it situation. And then I asked both Claude and Chat, nope, and Bard, but this one's for Claude. The next question I asked was, I said, thank you. Are you familiar with the story of the person who taught Jack Daniels to make whiskey? I'm going to tie this together. And so this is what Claude said. Yes, I'm familiar with the story of Nearest Green. Nearest spelled Nearis. Okay. Who is credited with teaching Jack Daniel how to make whiskey. And This is what Claude says. Here is a summary. Jack Daniel was a young boy living in Lynchburg, Tennessee in the 1850s. He went to work for a preacher and a distiller named Dan Call at the age of 7. An enslaved man named Nearest Green was also working for Call and had a lot of experience making whiskey. I need a cough drop. Green is said to have taught young Jack Daniel many of the techniques for making whiskey, including filtering the whiskey through charcoal, which became a signature of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. In 1875, Jack Daniel started his own distillery in Lynchburg and began making his own Tennessee sour mash whiskey using the charcoal filtering process he had learned from Nearest Green. Jack Daniel's whiskey grew in popularity over the years and became one of the most famous distilled spirits brands worldwide. The company officially acknowledged in hold on 2017 that Nearest Green was the first master distiller for Jack Daniels. Unfortunately, very little concrete information is known about Nearest Green's life. He was freed after the Civil War and continued working with Jack Daniel for some time after, but his story was mostly lost to history. Then Claude goes on to end this by saying, so while Jack Daniel gets most of the credit and branding, it seems he owed a good deal of his whiskey making knowledge to the enslaved man Nearest Green. Green's role was largely unrecognized for over a century. I got a little testy and went over to Bard because I wanted to see what Bard had to say. I will say this. So, Claude is different from Bard. I'm going to change the window. Claude is different from Bard in that Claude is a closed large language model right now. What I mean by closed is that it is not directly connected to the internet. And because I'm going to change the window again, because Bard is a Google product, it is directly connected to the internet. And so you can get more up to date kind of live information from Bard than you will from Claude. However, Bard, anything you put in here will become part of the great all. That's one. Two, Bard, Claude, and ChatGPT all will what I call make up stuff. The technical term, which I hope they're going to change at some point, that the AI field will change this, they call it the chatbot is hallucinating, which I don't think is a proper term, but that's what they've been calling it. I say they just make up stuff. So I asked Bard a little bit more about the bottling guy, and then it gave me all this information and links and things that are not necessarily true. One of the ways you can check to make sure something is true when you get a response from Bard is you can click on this G right here and double check the response. What happens with that is that once this is done spinning, you can go up and check for red highlights and green highlights. Red highlights, which is, even though the background is black here, is what is all up and through here. Red highlights means that there is not necessarily a link to a web page that can corroborate what Bard is giving as a response. Okay, so back to Nearest Green. Because I asked these questions of Claude first, I took the spelling from here, nearest, Nearis. And I put it into Bard and I asked, well, I said, please tell me about nearest green. I don't like to call it lying so much as that they just be making up stuff. And in some of my other streams, when I'm messing with Bard, I think that I used Bard a lot for Faceless October. I would call it an evil genie because genies will fulfill what you ask them if you are not specific or if their intentions are not good. You are definitely going to get a trick with fulfilling the request. And that is how I feel about um, some of these AI interactions and responses. So I took the spelling nearest green and I said, please tell me about nearest green, Nearis, because that is what Claude gave me. This is what Bard said, and I really feel like this is true. Bard said, while the spelling nearest, Nearis, appears in one historical document, the correct name of this remarkable individual is Nathan Nearest, as in from nearest to farthest, Green. They don't have his birth dates. And it says his story is one of immense talent, resilience, and long overdue recognition. This is what Bard had to say. A master distiller forged in adversity, born into slavery in Tennessee, Nearest Green's early life was undoubtedly fraught with hardship. Despite this, he developed a profound skill for distilling, learning the craft from a neighboring farm owner. His expertise in the Lincoln County process, which involved charcoal filtering for a smoother taste, set him apart. Next heading, Mentoring Jack Daniel, a legacy revealed. Nearest Green's talent caught the eye of a young Jack Daniel. Recognizing his exceptional abilities, Jack sought Nearest's guidance and tutelage. Under Nearest's patient instruction, Jack honed his own distilling skills, laying the foundation for what would become the world-renowned Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. Beyond the shadows, a long overdue recognition. For decades, Nearest Green's role in Jack Daniel's success remained largely unacknowledged. Yes, Bard is like an evil genie. You have to, what is called, trust but verify everything it gives you. All of these chatbots. Back to this. For decades, Nearest Green's role in Jack Daniel's success remained largely unacknowledged. However, in recent years, his story has finally emerged from the shadows. This is due in part to the efforts of his descendants who have tirelessly advocated for his rightful place in history. Next heading, a celebration of excellence. Today, Nearest Green is celebrated as the first known African American master distiller in the United States. His legacy is honored through the Nearest Green Distillery, established by his family in Shelbyville, Tennessee. They produce award-winning whiskeys that pay homage to his pioneering spirit and meticulous craftsmanship. Remembering Nearest Green. Nearest Green's story is a powerful testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity and achieve greatness. Look here, Bard. I have some thoughts, but let me finish this. It is also a reminder of the importance of recognizing and celebrating contributions that have been overlooked for far too long. His legacy serves as an inspiration to aspiring distillers and entrepreneurs of all backgrounds. I have thoughts, Bard, demonstrating that talent and dedication can pave the way for success, even in the face of immense challenges. Then Bard is like, I hope this provides a comprehensive overview of Nearest Green's life and achievements. Yeah, yeah. And it's like, ask me more stuff. Why did I put this up here? So, if we look at Coca-Cola Bottle It Man and Jack Daniels Whiskey Man, one of them had a super long and successful life that led to having a museum in place, and he retired from working in 1925 as a millionaire. And the other person, nobody can find them, and the only way that he even got recognition is because his descendants had to fight for it. Now, who is benefiting from the story that you are telling yourself? I am going to change cameras and be in frame camera only, which I just love. Let me deactivate this and reactivate it. Just love it. Who is benefiting from the story that you are telling yourself? What do I mean by that in terms of these two biographical sketches, which are, these people were alive, but within a generation of each other. So, one man was already a businessman and he had an idea, and he knew to get credit for his idea. And he was able to get credit for his idea because he had written it down in a letter and he had already started the process because he was already bottling the soda. Um, no, it wasn't called soda then. He was bottling the formula and having people take it home. The other man learned his craft, did it well, so well that someone else saw the potential in his craft, cozied up to him. This man with a generous heart and willingness to teach provided this other man that information, and he was never compensated. I am just imagining, but my guess is that Nearest Green did not die a millionaire. My guess is that Nearest Green's family had heard him talking about, after seeing all of the success that the Jack Daniels company that was built off of his skill and his recipe, they heard about that for the rest of Mr. Green's life. And they took up the mantle to make sure that he got his recognition after almost 100 years. But in terms of monetary and financial compensation, he didn't get that. And I'm sure I could ask one of these chatbots or look it up later whether the Green family received any financial compensation for the Jack Daniels company using the recipe and techniques. What's this? What's that mean, Mama? Anyway, their stories are very American, not just in terms of the disparity of the outcomes, but in the fact that we are one of, or we used to be, we are one of the most innovative and inventive groups of people in the world. We have spread that innovation all over the world from the United States out, for good or for bad. And at this point, AI is helping to make people's dreams and aspirations come true in a way that hasn't happened in a very long time. And I'll talk about this next month because I'm going to go and do a Oh, yeah, hey, I enlarged the camera because I love being on camera as much as you know, especially with no makeup on. But I have said before, I'll say again, there's a genius inside of every single one of us, and AI can help bring out our genius in a way that sometimes I feel a lot of people feel like they don't have anything to offer, or that they're not smart, or that they're not capable. But I am here as a social worker who's been working with these AI tools to tell you that you are absolutely capable. You are smart. You are efficient. Your brain, this noggin, we all have one. We all have a brain, and this brain that we all have is the most cost effective and efficient quantum computer that there is, and we each come with one when we're born. AI wouldn't exist without us, and AI is not able to work, at least these chatbots aren't. There are other things that do, but they don't just start answering questions before we ask them. That's actually called human in the loop. And right now, we are very much in the loop. Um, I actually have what? Not a lot of time left. Not a lot of time left. So there'll be no data storytelling today and no cost analysis, which is what I was going to do. There'll be none of that today. But after Christmas, which is going to be tomorrow, I am going to go back to live streaming a little bit during my lunch break. The first one is actually on Tuesday, and it opened in the wrong window, but that's okay. I will put it in the right window. I'm going to give a little plug for stuff I do. Number one, I am right now the only social worker who is certified by the Berkeley Law School in AI, and I have been prompt engineering just about every day since July. That is almost 6 months worth of experience in prompt engineering and working with generative AI. I want to be able to help other people learn about what is possible with AI, and also to learn about what is being um, done, what is coming, down down the pike for us in terms of what is being shown with AI, what work is being done with AI, and one thing I'm going to start working on next week on Tuesday is using AI tools to start an Etsy store, like an Etsy shop. I have already done a couple of these things, but I want to be able to show other people how to do it and also showcase a little bit about what it is that I can help you with if you feel like you need some help or this is beyond your reach or you just are too busy. If you are a new business owner or you are scaling your business and are looking for some assistance, I have lots of skills. I've done several things, and I would be happy to help you do some of the things that you're looking to do. I have worked at some very famous places and for state government and also for the federal government, but we're going to do a little market research work using AI tools. I'm going to try to stick with the free tools or low cost tools for market research. My focus is going to be on doing market research for an Etsy shop, but this can be done for a market for a book. This can be done for a market for your coaching work. This can be done for if you are in private practice as a therapist and you are looking to see where would be the best place to market your ideas, who would be the best group of people. Also, I sometimes think of things that other people don't, and I feel like I am a little bit like the hat tilted version of Biedenharn. And I also started this little picture right here, all of the little thumbnail images. I have been working with text to image AI tools. This one came from ChatGPT Plus, but some of the others that are on my YouTube channel, some of the other thumbnails, including this thumbnail right here, including my Christmas Eve celebration brunch friends. This one came from Starry AI, and some others have come from Playground. My goal coming up is to show people how to use AI tools and also offer assistance if you need it. I have a Fiverr link on all of my web thumbnails. I will add it to the description of the video as well. And if you are interested in a little bit of a demonstration about market research, please feel free to join me on Tuesday. My lunchtime is at 2 o'clock Eastern, and I will be there the day after Christmas. Also, probably looking at a couple of other steps to open an Etsy shop. I think the next day, I haven't made the thumbnail for this yet, but I think the next day will be how to use AI tools to make your own logo. That will be a text to image AI tool and then um, Canva. And I have the free version of Canva right now. So I like to use free and low cost AI tools because there is a market here. If you are looking to make extra money, or if you are like I was when I was a practicing social worker, I didn't have enough money to buy my own socks. And I practiced in Connecticut, home visiting in the winter, and I couldn't afford socks. My toesies were frozen. I'm so thankful I still have all of them. But if you're looking to get licensed and you have 3 years to figure out how you're going to support yourself and your family and pay your student loans if they haven't been forgiven, there are digital products that you might be able to create using AI tools that will tide you over so that you can get to the next phase of your life. And that is what I would like to help you with knowledge or assistance. I am available to provide virtual assistant services as well. Feel free to DM me or not. I have a lot of information available free and easy here on YouTube. But if you feel like you need additional assistance, feel free to reach out. I am going to say Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate. Enjoy the rest of your weekend for those of you who do not. I thank you for taking the ride with me today. And if nobody has told you, hold on, I'm going to change the window again. It's going to look crazy because it always does. There we go. If nobody has told you today, you look fantastic. You smell even better. I love to hear from you. I hope that you eat and have eaten some wonderful food this weekend with people who love and appreciate you. I hope that your feet are walking into rooms and homes that are welcoming and safe and away from situations that are not in your best interest. And that good idea you had, the one that you offered up in that conversation this week, I heard you. If nobody else acted like they heard you, I heard you. And if you need any help with that, I am available to provide maybe some ideas you hadn't thought of. If you have a formula and you want to bottle it, but you need somebody to see that you might need to see that you might need to bottle it, I can help you with that. I am here for support. I am here to provide resources, and I am the Social Work Expat. Merry Christmas, and thank you for taking the ride with me today. Take care.